towards the second half of that quarter, Coburg started getting smashed out of the centre clearances, and it felt like North Melbourne was just going for the jugular, really just trying to pile onto the scoreboard. It didn't look pretty in that probably last 10 minutes of that first quarter.
Yeah, as he was saying to me, Patch was saying they got caught ball watching a bit. They were going into the ball. North was saying on the outside, and they just flicked the ball out. And once they're flicking the outside, give their forwards more, the ball get in there quickly, and the rest is history.
Second term underway. Bruce again wins it down. Holmes ran into trouble quickly. Held onto the ball. Junker, eventually a clearance up towards half forward. It's Blair up against Wood. Walker as well, going to be the first man to get it. Now Wood onto the left, inside 50. Close is the target. Caught behind. Couldn't quite bring it down. Trying to escape with the ball. Pajowski out the back. And the Lions will clear this one out eventually. Bello has it. Goes down the line.
My footy.
Wayward was that ball out of bounds on the full.
Clearly when taking long runs along the beach in Barley Stoney. Didn't quite get to the full of that one.
Fraser Cameron has it for the Kangaroos.
He's on centre wing. There's the kick. Goes up, it holds up in that breeze, as Stoney said, blowing to the opposite end of the ground, but Garner did really well just to judge that. He's 55 from goal. I don't think he's going to make the trip.
Just send it long.
Yeah,
down and Michael close.
I think that's what's going to happen. No, it's going to go in a little bit shorter, which is dangerous because plenty of numbers down here for the Lions. It is a good mark. Liam Hunt takes it. He goes a little bit shorter. They should be able to clear from here, the Lions, you would think, if they're careful about it. Flying high, not coming down with it, was Lawson. And now they're in a bit of trouble because North Melbourne are just going to sweep this ball forward. They've just got so many numbers. As the ball going long and high.
Good grab.
Good take. Yes, inside 50 the kick went to Nolan. Oh no, made a horrible error. Wanted to get it off to Dixon. He was under pressure. Now they should be able to clear. Guthrie does well. They can steady again. Canolo goes for a bit of a run outside defensive 50 and then kicks up to a vacant centre wing position. Durden, player leading the race, will receive the handball back again as he works across. Long handball to Murphy. Murphy just waits the kick beautifully, and the mark taken by Morgan. Still at defensive 50 for North Melbourne. Series of handballs as Garner gets on the end of it at half back. His kick over the top looking for Cameron, the 23rd player. Doesn't take the mark but has plenty of space and shepherding from his teammates. The kick goes up the line, and lucky we're at Coburg because Phil Cleary's just arrived with that kick. Close, goes short. And they're going to line up for another one here. The Kangaroos, top of the goal square. That is just too easy. Coming out to take the mark, Mason Wood. He'll have a shot, 20 out directly in front.
See when they get the ball on the outside, just their run and carry and their ability to use their teammates. And it just, you turn the ball over and you give opposition who have got really good foot skills. That was not a really good kick, but it found its mark in the end.
It did. There's kick on the way as a goal. Smattering of applause for North Melbourne players. Need a bit more than that. That was a superb transferal of the ball. Wood gets his first goal for the afternoon, and 6:42 playing two behinds. We've got 3 minutes down in this second quarter here on Peter Jackson VFL Live via the VFL website, video and audio streaming. The new Peter Jackson VFL app. Make sure you download it from wherever you download your apps from. And Aussie Digital Radio too. You can tune into us there.
Bombers by goal. That's a quarter time score. 2-3-15 to 1-3-9 at Etihad Stadium. Umpire puts it down. Back in the middle. Bruce against Goodwin. Bruce too easily got it down. And we're inside 50 again. Close. Body on body. Did well to get rid of Bello. Takes the mark. And a chance for North Melbourne to kick number 7.
David Loader, the coach of North Melbourne's done a really good job. Michael Close is a Geelong product. He's a farmer. He was going to move back from, had a really great raps on him as a character and a leader. And David Loader pounced on him to try and get him to Arden Street to be, obviously the co-captain of his team. But he's a good forward too. He should have played a lot of AFL footy, and he's hopeful to get another chance at AFL. So good to see him taking a mark and really being instrumental in North Melbourne so far this year.
Starts his run up right on 50, and he'll kick it from about 40. Close. Right foot. Ball is lovely. 7-6, 48 North Melbourne. Coburg 0-2-2. Early stages second term.
So you got to keep the spirit up, but Coburg's just got to keep playing their game and just keep learning under Patch Adams or Lee Adams and Just got to really keep having a crack. Early in the quarter, in the first quarter, there was a lot of pressure in the ball. They were putting the key, but as soon as you let that pressure off against these sort of sides, they get to the outside and start running.
Well, it's a mismatch in the ruck too, because you got Bruce going up against Mark Orr. Bruce 206 centimetres, or 199 centimetres. That's why North Melbourne getting first use of the ball.
Keep an eye on Sam Wright. He's taped up, ready to come back on, it looks like, Stoney.
Ball down. Here they've got a chance to lines. Allen goes with a long ball deep into the pocket. Ball over the head there of Fox. He couldn't pick it up. It's near the boundary line, and the umpire will throw it in inside 50. Just a better read on that ruck contest, Stoney, the Lions that time.
Yeah, they sort of try and get even the contest 50-50, so their run ballers get a chance to really, obviously get out of the centre, but you've got to even up that.
35 metres out. Bruce getting the tap down, and just silver service for the Kangaroos as they can rebound. Here's Mason Woods. Inside the centre square, near the circles. Held up, called to play on by the umpire, and just chips the ball across the ground. Not the greatest of deliveries, but it might work out. Harper. Solly's teammates into trouble. Rovat, one of those, as now they slowly work it back out. Hayden, they're just going to take their time. The handball didn't hit Murphy flush, so he has to go back in and get it. Bit of tunnel ball, and eventually Guthrie picks it up. Goes by hand over the top. Working here, Cabatier shifts around and has a shot from a long way out. He shimmied there, and he missed. So 3 behinds for Coburg. 7-6-48 North Melbourne. We've played 6 minutes in this second quarter on Peter Jackson VFL Live this afternoon. A beautiful day for football.
Ben Mackay played on Harry 2 weeks ago, goes wide for Nielsen, but the kick was wayward, out of bounds on the full, and a Coburg ball.
Got to take the opportunity here. They've got to kick the goal. They've got to get a conversion of 6 points out of this play.
It's Mitchell Pajazki, the Aberfeldy product that has the ball. And then on the mark, he's about 30 metres out. A very tough angle at the aquatic centre. Right foot's on the way from Pajazki, and he's missing near side. That's now 4 behinds for Coburg. 7-6-48 North Melbourne.
Pajazki, as we mentioned, that part of the Calder Cannons program. There's this kick going in short. Dangerous. Mark taken. Jansen. This is better from the Coburg forwards, just to hold things up. Hayden found some space though. Still haven't exited the 50, North Melbourne. Right in the middle of the ground, dangerous, but up to the challenge. Williams again turns around, doesn't see a lot ahead. Rovat's making some space in the middle of the ground, but the reset will occur the other way. Dropping really what he should have taken there was dirt and handball over the top. Mackay, he'll go in short. Coming out on the lead is Hibbard, who wants to wheel around and go to Mason Wood. Long way out from goal.
He's working hard, Mason. What he's doing, covering a lot of territory.
Who goes across again. Mackay will go over the top. Now they've got some runners. Handball over the top. Hibbards. Now a high ball. Plenty of Coburg players here. The fists come in. And it's Tilly putting the fist in. Right to the boundary line. We'll have it thrown in 10 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. They lead this 48-4. We've gone 8 minutes in the second quarter here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Back here next week for Coburg and Williamstown.
Sammy Wright back on.
There's the ball tossed back in. It's held up in the breeze. So Bruce having to come forward. Or may have given him a little bit of a nudge there along the way. Now I could take clean possession. Now it's spills free. Hunt's working out there with Mellington. He got a cop to knock earlier. High ball from Allen. Up the line's going to be turned over again. Nielsen goes across the ground to Hibbard. Hibbard's... I just saw Sammy Wright and the umpire tagging there, just in back play. Going across the ground at halfback. Murphy takes the mark for North Melbourne. Mackay working further afield. Just kicking up the line. Nielsen again. Plenty of numbers here. Braden Bruce is the tall target inside 50. Cameron appealing for it and taking the mark. Great grab. Over the top there of Lawson.
Likely led.
Yeah, and he kicks a high ball. One for the tall timber. Front and square though. Rovac got the handball out. Having to work around in circles. The high ball coming in from Jansen. Ball with Close. He's held up in the tackle, going absolutely nowhere. He's almost looked like he was going to try and push forward for a try. But right next to the North Melbourne goal square, this ball will be thrown up. And you'd want all your Coburg defenders to be goal side. Try and force this through. Kill the contest. They don't. Rovat on the outside of the boots. Puts it through for a behind. Fell to him, instinctively threw it on the boot. Almost went at right angles to where he was. 7-7-49 plays 4 behinds. 10 minutes gone, second quarter. Peter Jackson, VFL Live.
Bellows short, no mark for Carigliano, but had time to escape with the ball and clears 50 now. Kabadier mistimed his jump. Foot race for the ball out the back. It's Ordler taking on Nielsen. Nielsen got it, hand pass wayward. Spills out of play. Mellington just fumbled, boundary throwing. 4 behinds playing 7-7-49. 10.5 gone second term. Seb Spagnolo coming up at halftime. We'll go one-on-one with Peter Mercado. Boundary throw in. Bruce went to the voice. Out the back in Hibbard. Now Junker. Left foot, half forward, looking into the sun is Mason Wood. Well, instead, though, it was Larkey getting in front. Took the mark. Bid Larkey. He's equal, as I said, with Michael Close on the goal-kicking table. Quick hands off to right. Top of the square. No mark taken for Coburg. Hunt had it and lost it out the back. Clearing ball, a wobbler toward this broadcast side, and that's a very good mark going back with the flight by Sherry. Juked it. Too far out to score. No, one lead on offer from Mason Wood. The kick is a bit of a nothing kick, to be honest. It's straight down the throat of Gregory. Coburg out of danger. Bellow wide. And he'll go down the line looking for Fox. Fox won't get there. Bouncing. Boundary throwing.
Remember another Fox that played here, Stoney?
Robbie Fox.
Robbie Fox, yep.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
the success that he's had. We've had a couple who've come through the Coburg Football Club that have gone on to AFL success. And I'm talking about Coburg as a standalone VFL entity. Mellington just trying to get the quick kick away. We'll come back to that in a moment, Stoney. As Hibbard working around the body for North Melbourne. His kick up the line is out of bounds on the full. You were saying?
Luke Ryan.
Yes.
Obviously the defender, the Michael Hibbert type clone. And who else was there that come in? Adam Sard. It's very good.
So Nolan, the 23rd player today for Coburg, has it in the back pocket. His kick going up the line. Oh, it is beautiful to watch. Sherry.
He's a pretty impressive young fella, this guy.
He is. As the kick going up the line. Clash of bodies, pack forms, goes over the line. We'll have it thrown in. Noticed another of the products of the Mark Stone Footy Factory, just doing the media rounds during the week. Ben Brown, North Melbourne. Noticed an article during the week about Ben.
About In the Age, was it? A good article too.
It was. There was a slight omission though, in terms of factual detail there as this ball's wrapped up here at the bottom of the pack. No mention of mention of our man Mark Stone holding the footy here.
He actually did mention Werribee though, which is good.
Yeah, not mentioning the man who single-handedly brought him over the ocean too. No, okay, that's fair enough. As Hunt's kicking inside 50 for Coburg now, an opportunity. As this ball, no mark taken. It's going to go over the line. They're just too solid, the defenders.
Ordler's down and holding his knee, Stoney.
Sorry, mate.
Ordler holding his knee in that marking contest.
Did not look good over the top. No free kick given. The umpire will throw the ball back in.
Like a hyperextension type
He's
situation.
hobbling away from the contest. Looks to be running it off. There's Mellington trying to come through. Now bouncing footy right to the top of the goal square. Not going to rush it through. Mackay decided to back himself. It's dangerous though because there's plenty of Coburg numbers around the footy. Hibbard's there in the back pocket. Now he's got a bit of time. He goes with a long ball. Slight push out from the side from Close, but he's going to be paid the mark anyway at half back. Now, what's this transition footy going to look like from North Melbourne? No free kick given. Might have been Blair over the top for Coburg. It was. And the umpire will say, give it to me.
It could have been a free kick to Mason Wood then. And Mason Wood, good professionalism. He could have said something, the umpire didn't say anything. And the umpire was blindsided by that one.
Ball heading boundary side. Allen and Hunt watch it go out of play. Boundary throw in, centre wing.
No, it was a good article, though, the one on
it was,
Brown, just going back to that. But I just sort of thought maybe a little bit of a magnificent Mark Stone reference in there would have been appropriate.
It wasn't about, it was good. It was a good article.
And 2 goals, 1 for North Melbourne in this second term so far. 2 behinds for Coburg. We're halfway through it. This will be another stoppage as Sam Wright gets tangled up.
It's a pretty good crowd, all things considered, for this game, Stoney. Plenty on the hill behind you.
The camera can't see it, obviously facing out, but there's a really good crowd, as you said, on the wing this side.
Good presence from your old club, Stoney, Glenn Roy. There's a couple of juniors wearing the famous red and white jumper. I can see their senior coach lurking as well, Stoney.
Yeah, here today.
Plenty of connections between Glenn Roy and Coburg. Umpire throws it up. Goodwin. Guthrie with the tackle. That'll be a ball up again. That's not Guthrie with the tackle. It's in fact Hunt. So round the grounds, Essendon 4-3-27, Melbourne 2-4-16. That's Etihad Stadium, second term. That game pretty much running parallel to this one. Umpire throws it up again. Good tackle from Blair. Another stoppage. One more. And it's yours.
Yeah, psyche of Ruckman. So let's see where Braden Bruce, if he gets his hand on the footy here, pushes Tommy Gordon out of the way. Well done, Tom. Good effort.
Williams fed the handball out. Finally, North Melbourne are going to clear. Jansen one way then the other. Holds on to the ball. Ran himself into trouble. Ahern was there to help out. Now Morgan got it from right. Bruce, hand pass inboard. Chiron did well. Hand pass inboard and they're away North Melbourne. It's Wood that's going to be the chance to finish the job. Left foot.
Oh.
Goal. There was a one-on-one on the line. The ball was already passed by the time there was a hand on it. Second for Mason Wood. 8th for North Melbourne. 8-7-55. I just lost the scoreboard. I think it's 55 to 4 behinds.
Just the ability, those little handballs, those short handballs into space, and that's where Coburg get in a bit of trouble, because once North Melbourne get the chain of handballs in and around, we've seen Footscray or the Western Bulldogs do it a couple of years ago in that grand final. Handball, out of trouble, sharp, precision handball, kick on goal, and Mason Wood, you don't give him a couple of looks because he'll kick it right through the middle as he did.
Yeah, it's looking ominous, isn't it? 8-7-55 to 4 behind, 17 gone in the second quarter. Still a long way to go, but Coburg need to respond. They want to get desperate to get a goal on the board. Bruce getting the tap down. Again, they get first use, but brought down Ahern in the tackle. The umpire holds for a long time and says, give it to me. And it's just working overtime at the moment to just contain North Melbourne, let alone put any scoreboard pressure on themselves.
Yeah, they're sort of like, after half time, or they're just going to change their mindset. We've got to take it on and just have a crack, get in and get the footy.
Goodwin again, this time getting the tap. Mellington, well, he had the boot in the face, and he's in a bit of trouble. The ball going inside 50 for North Melbourne. 3, and it's skittled all of them as the kick came in. Now an opportunity for Bello as he just clears the area for the Lions, but it looks like it's going to come straight back in very quickly. It's a high ball. They come in from all sides. No one could take the mark. Mason Wood just hacks it on the boot. It went about 10 metres. Good tackling pressure from Exon of Coburg. Whistle to throw. It's a throw. It'll be a Coburg free kick. It was called by the trailing umpire. And a good call too. But I think the main umpire in that position was a little bit blindsided. So Exon, long ball outside the 50 for Coburg. High ball, Bruce couldn't take the mark. Now around the body, it's going forward for North Melbourne. It'll either be out of bounds on the full or a mark to Dixon. And it is the latter, Mark Dixon, on the boundary line. Well, the boundary line and defensive 50 intersect. His kick going up the line. No one could take the mark. Cameron first to run onto it. Brushes a couple of tackles and then just lobs the ball in. Did a good job of that in the end. Garner, he goes a bit shorter to Hibbard. Hibbard, who's 65 from goal, assesses what he's going to do and then just goes with a long, high, deep ball. Again, a pack of players. Again, there's a player staying down. It's Walker who has a shot and misses. 8-9-57, plays 4 behinds. We've gone 19, almost 20 minutes in this second quarter. In fact, I think it's 8-8-56. They've changed the scoreboard before I had a chance to look at it, Adam.
Centre wing, and good mark taken by Tilly. Aidan Tilley sends it forward.
Oh.
Interesting ball for Orgler. Interesting jump at it as well from Morgan. Ball spills out the back. It's picked up by Mellington. Held onto it. Did well to evade the tackler there in Murphy. Mellington again. Was he clipped high? Yes. Free kick Coburg. Still looking for their first goal of the game. Here's Hisham Kabardier. Needs to go inboard. Kick smothered very well by Walker. Jansen. Hand pass back. Walker gets it back, and now we'll get boots the ball for North Melbourne. A little chipper over the top. That's a lovely little ball for Holmes, and he takes the mark. Still behind true centre wing.
See, under pressure, getting the ball out, little kick, little handball, gets him into the clear. It's just the difference.
Holmes, high and long towards half forward, close, and Larky goes up. Big mark by Big Suva. And there's plenty of Kangaroos options to go to. Long and deep. Look at the outnumber here. High toward the square. No mark taken. It was fisted away that time. Picked up by Gregory, although he's got pressure on him. Gregory gets it now. Well done, close to tracking back. Clearing ball from Exon. Writes the man back there to sweep this one up. If he does get to it, he won't, because it bounces out of play. Just kept bouncing and bouncing away from him. Boundary throw in, centre wing out of sight.
Now what we need to do is need to get Coburg a goal before half time. We just need, for psychological purposes, need a goal.
Round of grounds, 10-point lead for Essendon over Melbourne.
All right, well, we'll see what we can do, Stoney. I'm not sure we have the power to do that up here, but no, fair call. Ball tossed back in. And Bruce with front position just taps it over the back beautifully. But good pressure here, Coburg. Starting to work that out a little bit better. Off the back of the contest, stalemates, the ball will be thrown up.
It's always good to see good ruckman, right? Just palm the ball to the smaller players.
Well, that was an open palm because he had it all to himself. Bruce down to Hayden. Ball eventually through hands, and now a kick deep inside, or shallow inside 50. Gregory there at the back. Dixon got some numbers on the overlap here, Coburg. They should be able to run this ball out. So a dangerous proposition, but slowing down Blair, kicked into the middle of the ground. Gee, he had time just to assess his options and turn the footy over. The kick goes wide. Wright has it. He kicks short inside 50. Good pressure again from the Lions, reading the play, Carigliano. And the ball will be thrown back in, pretty close to where the boundary line and the 50-metre intersect for North Melbourne. Kicking to the Harding Street or city end of Piranha Park. 22 minutes gone, 56 plays 4. Thrown back in. Bringing hands to it was close. Doing a bit of the ruck work duties. Larky just pushed off the footy right there again to Hibbard. Kick going in short. Half volley not picked up there by Harper. They're still in the contest though, the North Melbourne players, and the Coburg defence under all sorts of pressure. A little chipping ball, Murphy. They managed to get it out now. Here's a nice build-up. Canolo takes a bounce. He kicks in the middle of the ground. Really need to take that mark. Cabatier couldn't do so, but they still have numbers on the outside. Canolo again. He kicks inside 50. That's their best build-up so far of the quarter. And Lawson has the mark. And he will line up and have a shot. Not a gimme, this one, from just on the 50. So, Lawson comes in, desperate for a goal. 23 minutes gone. He's given it plenty, but pushed it across the face, through for a behind. 5 behinds Coburg, 8:56 North Melbourne. 23 and a half gone in this second quarter here on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Right to himself, and then he comes near side. The kick, looking for Bruce. Measured, and he took the mark, did big Braden Bruce. First goal kicker of this game, goes wide for Close. Here's kick 2. Well, should be a free kick going to Michael Close. It is against Exon. With high contact in that marking contest. Close took his time, delivers high towards half forward. Larky and Garner both there for North Melbourne. Junker forced out of play by Blair. Boundary throw in right in front of Stoney.
Just Tommy Goodwin ready to come back on the ground, and Big Prussy's off the ground, I think, at the moment, so they're sort of going with each other at the moment, but just need some more work off for Oscar Junker, who's trying to get his game back going in the VFL.
Well, Bruce is on the ground. He was in that ruck contest against Orr. High-flying ball here. Bruce went up, got the fist down, and North Melbourne are away again. Holmes with the set-up handball is going to claim it in front of Bello, but he can't keep it in. Boundary throwing.
I think Tommy Goodwin's trying to get onto the ground. You're right, Adam. There's Bruce is on the ground, but they've been going head-to-head in this last 15 minutes.
Yeah, so it's Mark Orr, another Western Jet. It's currently in battle with Bruce. Umpire brings this one back in. Bruce somewhat easily, but not quite getting it down to Ahern. Orr's over the top of it, needs some help, got brought down. Umpire's taking his time, but will call for the ball up. Nearly half-time, 5 behind Coburg. North Melbourne 88-56. That's a margin of 51. Round the grounds, Bombers by 10 against Melbourne. Richmond Collingwood coming up soon from the G as Bruce gets it down. Ahern tackled off that one. Junker hacked it inside 50. It bounces before going out of play. Boundary throw in right forward pocket. Can the Kangaroos sneak another late one before half-time? I'm expecting an overly long quarter, 25.5 hit.
Oh, and there's a bit of push and shove off the ball too.
Ben Allen has put down Nash Holmes.
Oh, what a surprise that is. Nash Holmes being involved in some push and shove. He's going to come up with it. And he just sucked him in beautifully. Wanted to go and play on.
No advantage there. He slotted the goal, but it won't count.
He's disappointed with that because that was a beautiful kick.
Came across from Essendon on their VFL list, as we said. Plays local footy around here as well.
Didn't mind spoiling for a bit of push and shove too, Adam. I saw it as soon as he came onto the ground that last time, Stoney. He was straight into him. And they got sucked in beautifully, the Lions.
Feisty little character.
You can have the last laugh here. Feigned the handball off to Murphy, but Mellington was tracking him. So all eyes on Nash Holmes. 45-degree angle.
Oh!
He's taken the man on the mark. He kicked it straight into him. Bit of flare-icing there from Nash Holmes. It stays in play for now. Mellington, what were you thinking, Nash Holmes?
Oh.
Still went with the kick anyway. Didn't even bother really trying to get around the man on the mark.
If Andy's saying that could be one of the plays of the day, that one.
Oh, not in a good way. Don't know if that'd make it to the top 5.
Got the crowd up and about as well. Boundary throw in. Bruce against Goodwin. Out the back, it will be Pajaski getting the ball off. A bit of a nothing kick from Murphy. If anything, it's trying to set up Nolan. Bouncing. Nolan picks it up now in front of Close. Has some time. The kicking board. No mark. Out wide. Canolo now has it. Sends Coburg deep. Can they get a late one before half-time?
Grab.
No. Mark taken out the back.
Cameron. There's this ball working across the ground. Bit of a stalemate again. The umpire will throw it up. And they're starting to get the inside 50s, Stoney, but
they're not converting.
For every one inside 50, there's about 4 going back the other way. Well, they need something here before half-time. Bruce with the front position this time. He was grabbed and is actually going to be holding the footy, the call in the end, from that contest.
Yeah, Braden Bruce didn't get the right possession. And
nope, he dropped it. And Tommy Goodwin, the captain, can lift them going into half-time. 28 minutes gone. 56 plays 5. Desperately needs this one. Goodwin will step to the 50. He's kicked from 45 outs. He starts at left. It stays left. They've got the goal, but they've got it in behind. 6 points for Coburg. And 88-56 for North Melbourne. 28.5 minutes gone in this second quarter.
Margin's an even 50 points. Half-time siren imminence is right. Again went to himself. Hibbard under pressure from Kabardier. Still inside defensive 50. Eventually it is turned over the top. Lawson brought down. Held on to the ball. Needed to get rid of it. Needed help. North Melbourne got back in numbers. Junker. Ball spills out. Bouncing ball. It's going to stay with Coburg for now. Exxon in board. Good vision to hit up Liam Hunt. He's got the ball. Man on the mark. He's right on 50.
Yeah, he's a really good kick for goal, and I think he's their best player. There you go. So we'll see how we go here.
I agree with you, Stoney.
Has 1 goal for the season so far. This Hunt has played every game. Slide angle. Man on the mark is about 48 out. They need a goal, Coburg, just for morale.
Oh.
Right foot's on the way. Distance was not a problem. And he's finally kicked Coburg's first. Some Bronx cheers here at Piranha Park. 1-6-12, playing 8-8-56.
Yeah, beautiful kick. You got the read of the breeze right. Oh, yes! The Lions back. Magnificent. I mean, slightly healthier than what we heard last season, but still. Last year we were here. And,
still malnourished, though, it's fair to say.
Well, fair to say it was on life support, the old Lion. Just had to squeeze it to get a roar out of it. But
revitalise the old Lion.
Well, I'm not 100% sure of that. I think the replacement's in a bit of trouble as well. 1-6-12, playing 8-8-56. That was one of our talking points pre-match, Adam, to see whether the Lion will be back. And we're very happy that the Lion is back. Ball back in the middle. Allen trying to push it forward, but just taken away from him by Jansen. He's been good today. Now a kick inside 50. Wood under pressure. Couldn't take the mark. Working there. Blair, they've got some numbers, but they've coughed it up. Now a high ball. Will go nicely into the hands of Taylor Garner. He was just going with the flight of the footy around the pack of players that was there. And this is a gimme goal for Taylor Garner.
Stoney, this is what really hurts. You work so hard to get your first goal of the game when you're practically being smashed, and then out of the next centre clearance on the half-time siren, you just potentially cough one straight back up. It's sort of heartbreaking stuff for the team that's battling.
Top of the goal square, slightest of angles for Taylor Garner. Chance to add the 9th, and he does. 9-8-62 North Melbourne, 1-6-12 Coburg. That quarter going 31 minutes and 15 seconds. Garner getting his first on the board for this afternoon.